This is Cole Stock with Mission Motorsports. Today I'm bringing you the Can-Am X3 RC. Today we're going to be going over Can-Am's X3 RC. The RC is based off the X3 RS, the way the chassis is, the shocks, the suspension, but it gets a lot of in-depth detail when it comes to other things that people might want for its other uses. For example, it's coming on different tires. It's a more soft compound to grab onto rocks. You can notice it has a different roof. It comes with an aluminum roof. It's got intrusion bars. It even comes with some lower doors. It's got an extra beefy skid plate. If we take a look at the front, it comes equipped with a 4,500 pound winch right from the factory. It's also got skid plates on both front A-arms. And it's got this nice blue color to it. The whole car is just kind of covered in it. I think they did it well. It accents very nice. Let's take a look inside. So taking a look internally at the XRC, things that you're going to notice differently just sitting in the cockpit. Right to the left, on the far left, I have a winch switch. If I look at my right hand side, this has been switched from Trail Active and Trail to Rock and Trail, and I'll go over what that is in a minute. If you're familiar with the 2019 cars, it still has the Smart Lock differential, and then this is the four-wheel drive settings right here. It still has sport mode, still has eco mode, still has override. It's still the same dash. There's no extra features on the actual screen and display. Looking at the display, it's telling you I am in Smart Lock. You can actually hear the differential lock up. If I put it in eco mode, it will show the eco mode light coming on. You can see it's kind of mad at me because my seatbelt isn't on. It's only going to go 15 miles an hour right now until I plug it in. Taking a look at the controls on the dash. So for those of you out there who don't know the difference between two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive, it basically means two-wheel drive, it's the rear wheels. Four-wheel drive means that it's true four-wheel drive where both tires in the front are moving at the same speed. Now the downside with four-wheel drive is you lose maneuverability. You gain lots of traction, you can pull through, but you lose that maneuverability. So for those of you who are out there rock climbing, you kind of need that maneuverability to get through where you're going, get around those boulders, make it up that face. So when you fully lock the differential, it's going to lose a little bit of that. So that's why they have these different settings. I put it in four-wheel drive and I put it on trail. That's just for everyday driving, how you're going to go through the desert. When I put it to rock, it has a special setting. When you're going less than 12 miles an hour, specifically 12 miles an hour or less, it's going to change how the front differential is going to work. It's basically going to preload the clutches so that it can engage before it has slippage. It's going to maximize your traction without locking the differential. So it'll still be going on the same rotation but not fully locked, so you don't lose maneuverability. You can still turn the way you would normally. Now it's not going to do that in trail. It's going to be similar, but basically what trail does is it locks the differential when it slips. To put it into simple words, this is preventative, this is reactive. And that's what's important. You don't want to have a reactive suspension for when you're rock climbing. You want it to be, from the beginning, ready to go. Aside from the actual controls of this car, right here we have the RFID slot. This is where your RFID keys flip on. It's going to come with two different keys. It has the green normal key and the performance key. They clip on just the same as most BRP products do. And then it's just a push to start. Hold to disengage. If I look up here, this is my 12-volt outlet. A lot of people commonly put a GPS system right here and use these little slots. I'm going to pop the hood. Right here's your fuse box. Here's your brake fluid reservoirs. That pretty much covers internally. Like I said, this car is on the same platform as the RS, so it's still got a 10.5 gallon gas tank. It's still got the 3-inch shocks in the rear and the 2.5-inch in the front. I'm just trying to go over the showcasings of what's different on this car. So looking at this car from the back, there's not too much different. The real only differences you're going to actually see are the torsional bars. The third bar, it actually is high clearance. You kind of see how it has that angle going on for it. And then right here, it actually has a tow hook. Normally, if I look at the back of an X3 RS, There's no tow hook slot there. It's a very subtle detail, very, very important. Those of you who have been stuck out there know. And that's kind of the overview on our car. The only other thing that you're going to notice, skid plates on the actual trailing arms. I skipped by those. So a bunch of questions that I get on these cars all the time, they all come down to one thing, and that's self-maintenance. Everyone always asks, how reliable is this car? How reliable is this brand? Does this go bad? Does this go bad? And the truth of the matter is, a lot of things that go wrong with the car are due to self-error, whether it's driving or whether it's just not kept up on. One of the biggest questions on any of these side-by-sides, drive belts, CVT belts. I have a lot of people that come in here and they ask how long the belt's going to last, how to maintain it, what you need to do. Like one of the things that a lot of people don't know is how to break in your CVT belt. For you to break in your CVT belt, you want to drive this car for an hour with the learning key, or only go about 70% throttle on the regular key, and then let the car cool. And when I say let the car cool down, I want it to be completely cool. You should be able to put your hand on the exhaust and it's not going to even affect you. So small things like that that people don't know from having previous cars, never been told. There's a lot of new research on the market, and now we know these things. That procedure right there, every time you put a new belt on, is supposed to double the length of your life on your belt. That's a lot. If you're getting 1,000 miles out of a belt and you start breaking them in, you're getting 2,000 miles, that's a lot of time. If you look in your owner's manual, they're only recommended that you have to inspect and change your belt every 2,000 miles anyway. So depending on, of course, how you drive the car, what kind of tires you have set on them, all those kind of factors, where you go riding. If you're going in the sand, of course, it's going to wear a little bit more. But every time you go out riding, there's basically a pre-ride inspection you should do. You should check your air box, your air filter. Up here is basically your pre-screen for it. So this kind of clips out. And this will collect a lot of dust. This is something you might even inspect during your trip. And it'll get really dusty and really dirty. And when it does, just spray it off with water. Hose it out. It's going to basically suck all the big particles and stop them out through there. Your actual filter is down underneath here. It comes with a paper filter. You could keep running paper filters. If you want to get a reusable foam filter, you can as well too. It's really up to personal preference. Some people don't like foam filters. It's a lot of work to keep them clean. The owner's manual is going to recommend that every year, 2,000 miles or 100 hours, change the oil and oil filter on your car, change your gear oil. You want to inspect the full front suspension on your car, make sure all the nuts and bolts are torqued. You want to inspect the rear, you want to inspect the drive belt. You want to do basically everything. If you're changing your oil and everything once a year and doing your annual service, do yourself a favor, check your drive belt. It's something that not everyone's going to do. You might even want to replace it every season just to make sure that you're not going to have it break on you and keep a spare. There's a lot of small tips and tricks like that that a lot of people don't do, and it's stuff that just make you have a better experience out there in the desert. For me, take an extra 15 minutes to check my belt before I go on a 4-day trip. I'm happy to do it. Happy to make sure that nothing's going to go wrong in that 4 days I'm out in the desert for as long as the time I'm going to ride during the day and at night. If you have more questions or want some more in-depth detail about something that's mechanical, give us a call, shoot us an email. This is Mission Motorsports, and we're in Irvine, California. This is Cole Stock with Mission Motorsports. If you like our content and you find that I'm very informative, give us a like on the video, subscribe to our content. We'd very much appreciate it. Have a good day.